All right, so let's see if I can get this figured out. So welcome to Mama Chat. And today I'm actually going to talk about homeschooling and not the fact that it might be time to color my hair. But so I'm going to talk about homeschooling, a little bit of how this year went, because it didn't go as expected, but isn't that normal? And then I'm going to talk about like where I go from there. So today's loveliness is because I'm at the orthodontist. So what a better time to do a video. Look, I can't even get all my hair. What a better time to do a video than when you're at the orthodontist, right? So isn't that the way it goes? At the orthodontist, I like the live videos. Good morning. I do actually prefer the live videos over doing a recording. And I know it's kind of hard for some of y'all because it's more like, I'm going to talk to you while you fold laundry. I'm like the perfect laundry folding, dish doing video. Almost perfect. I wouldn't say perfect, but I'm a good video for that. Because when I try to do versus, and I know, and I totally appreciate the people that actually take the time and make a video, because they tend to be like more on point, where I kind of like squirrel off into who knows where. But in this season of life for me, what I'm running into is I don't have the ability to make the video. So if I make the video, that would be a whole day event. And then I don't know how long it would take me to get it uploaded. Good morning, Darcy. So that's what I kind of run into, like why I end up doing more live chats versus anything. I probably look like a weirdo in the parking lot today, but isn't that the way it goes sometimes? All right. So, the plan. I don't know what I'm doing for next year. So this year, all 6 kids went to school. The year before that, so the year before that, I'm literally crying on YouTube because I am just so over homeschooling. I don't think I was really over homeschooling. I was just burnt out. I was fried beyond burnout. I mean, I was at a burnout level that was in a dangerous place before COVID. The November before COVID hit, to put it that way. And we were living in 700 square feet, living tiny as a hoarder. I'm going to say as a hoarder. I'm just at the point of like, I am trying to be a recovered hoarder. So let's just say, now after listening to Dana K. White and the Minimal Mom, I wasn't living, when we were living in that 700 square feet, we weren't living as though in the now moment. We were living in what we're going to eventually live like. And because of that, I now realize I made life harder. I'm not nearly as strange as the guy next to me. He's like cleaning his car while his kids are in the thing. He's got his spray bottle out. Kudos to him. I'm not going to make eye contact. Kudos to him for like being productive. So I'm going to give kudos to that. Well, I'm the weird one making a video, doing live stream. But I just was burnt out. We were in 700 square feet. I didn't thin out any of my pots and pans. I didn't find a way to live with less. I wanted to still live with more, still buy more, and live in 700 square feet. So that's hard, number one. Living in 700 square feet is just hard. Living in 700 square feet and want to have all things is harder. Having 6 kids in 700 square feet is hard. Homeschooling them is hard. It was just hard. It was just hard. It was hard on my marriage. Then we're building a house at the same time, which was hard and hard on my marriage. It was just hard. And it was so much. And I don't know if I could have done. We did that for 3 years. I don't think I could. If I knew that, I couldn't have done it. If I would have known it was going to take 3 years, something else would have happened. We would have done something different. Drastically different, but I didn't know that. So, and there you go. So it was hard, and because of that hard, I hit the point that I could go no more. Did my color change or anything? What happened? Okay. I couldn't go anymore. I made a video. I'm crying. I just am burnt out. I'm burnt out. Everything feels like it's being held on by a shoestring, not even that, by a thread. And I was burnt out. I mean, survival mode, just complete survival mode. And at that point, I put them all in school. I just said, I've had enough. I told you guys, like, so sorry, this homeschool mom quit. I am done. I quit. Should I do it like this? I don't think it matters. It's not gonna be a good view anyway. I just quit. And I put them in school. 2 of them last about 5 weeks and quit. Brought them home. That was my oldest, her 9th grade year, and my middle child. So it would have been her 4th grade year. They come home. Everybody else stays. They go to spring break. COVID hits. They never go back to school. Well, I say they never go back to school, but I had to pull out. I pulled out one because it was just too hard. It was just, we were doing it virtual. It was just chaotic, and that wasn't serving the purpose. So how in the world do I not have, I don't like, it keeps going dim on me so I can't, yeah, I have it full brightness. Oh, okay. I'm so scared. I thought maybe I like totally pushed something. Hopefully nobody calls. All right, so the other one stayed in. And then the year started and things were still hard. Well, they were getting better, but they were still hard. And I wanted to be out of the house, and I still wanted to be with my kids. So the way I decided to make that work was to go teach, thinking that this was a brilliant idea. I was very excited it was a brilliant idea. So everybody's back in school again. And that includes, everybody's back in school. And that includes even my oldest, who quit after 5 weeks. And listen, she went into sophomore year without all of her credits from 9th grade. So she was behind, and they were just like, blah, blah, blah. You know, they gave me all kinds of things. She had to do credit recovery, but she also took dual enrollment. I have to be careful because they might try and graduate her next year. Hey, good morning. They might actually try to graduate her next year because she caught up above and beyond and kind of shocked them. And my son, he did all of 9th grade and really has found his fit. We found some things that don't work for him and some things that are, some things that we still need. I'll talk about it in a minute, but finding like we need to still do some tutoring on some stuff, even if it's at home homeschooling over the summer. I love it. Y'all are making it. And my younger 2 went to school this year. It's been really helpful. They get their speech, but they've also learned a lot of things I did not want them to learn. And there was things that are going on that I'm not ecstatic about. So I'm at the aspect of they kind of need to come back home or go somewhere else. That's really my thought. They still need speech therapy. They have the articulation issues with S, and they're working on doing sounds. But there's, the teachers were wonderful. My son, my youngest son I couldn't teach him phonetically because he couldn't make the sounds, has totally just above and beyond. Is above and beyond. He's reading, he's kind of caught back up to his grade level. And I'm not going to lie, like, because the 2 are in speech, we can get a McKay scholarship and I can take them to private school. And that sounds really good right now. I'm just not going to lie. It sounds so good right now to put them in a private school. I like the teachers at the school they're in right now. It's the public school, but there's some things that I want different, that it wouldn't be perfect at the private school. It would be better. And the McKay scholarship should pay for most of it, but not all of it. But it's going to add like a 10-minute commute. And trust me, I've already gone and met the person that does enrollment to learn all about what would be entailed. And I'm like, well, I'd send my third one. So that means I got to pay for my third one. I don't think I would like to send my fourth. So that'd be, if I'm going from the top, my first one's doing dual enrollment. In fact, next year, it's not even a question. She's not coming back home. I mean, I've kind of come to the point that I'm recognizing this year showed me I'm done with her. I am never homeschooling her again. She is done. She, next year will be her junior year. She's supposedly only taking college classes, but she found out her favorite teacher is going to stay for Spanish, so she's going to take Spanish 3. But that's on her. That's her choice. She's making her decisions for herself, so it's been a really good launching pad for her. But she is moving on her own. And she'll be just taking her college classes. By the time she graduates high school, she'll have her AA. Everything I could want, she's there. My son, he is staying in the school. I don't think bringing him back home would be helpful to him. And it's just finding his balance and letting things click until he can start doing dual enrolling. So it's fine. So that leaves me with the bottom 4. My one going into 8th grade, she's actually now at the point of trying to finish up Spanish 1 through Florida Virtual School, which is FLVS, which is known here in Florida. She's taking a high school class. She started it the January-ish of her 7th grade year, and she's allowed to do that. And what she's going to try and do is take the second Spanish at the high school as an 8th grader, which might put her in class with her 10th grade brother, which will be kind of funny. I'm waiting to see how that works out. So she's at that point where the plan is this year she would take her FLVS Algebra 1 coming into next year. And I'll do more like focused and with a video versus live chat. But if you have questions, ask them. I'm still having a hard time with why my screen is that way. But so she is doing the, she's kind of taking some of her high school classes already through FLVS. So putting her into a private school, she would kind of have to forfeit that. And the other part is we're doing mammoth math to fill in our skills that she needs, just to double check that we have a review, we have the skills we need. So she probably won't start Algebra 1 until October, which if she went to a private school, she'd have to start it right away or not take it at all. So we do realize, like, hey, you know, that wouldn't be a good fit for her. But then I look at my 6th grader and she's a social butterfly. And I look at my younger kids and I'm like, yeah, maybe I could do private school. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm all in, right? But that's who I am. I'm all in, and I'm so thankful. Like, I'm spending the time doing the research. And I'm looking at the price tag. Oh my word. So 2 would be mostly paid for. But there's still a portion I still need to pay for. Plus the enrollment fee, plus the book fee, plus the supply fee, plus the uniforms, plus their high-end lunches, plus every extra curricular activity they want to do. I have to pay for. And that's on the 2 that are paid for mostly. Then I'd have 1 I wouldn't have to pay for. And as I'm not even talking about lunches, daily driving, I'm looking at $9,500. Hey, Vicki, $9,500 to send them to a private school. And I still know, like, whenever there's going to be all these, like, little things that you have to then pay for. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm talking about, so far, I'm just like how last year's gone and kind of where I go from here. And I really want to send them to private school. And the money part. So I sat down and why would I want to send them to private school and not just bring them home? I'm tired. I'm still tired. I'm still not excited to homeschool like I used to be. Like, my excitement could make me have enough patience to do it, I guess. And I know that's not like the right reasons, but like that's my reasons. But I'm going to tell you. So I've been on this whole mode and, you know, I've been decluttering. I've been kind of sharing that. and I've been trying to be tight on my budget so I can afford to put them in private school. I'm doing all these things that are not normally things I would do. They're things I would think I'd want to accomplish, but I wouldn't have to want to do the work to accomplish it. And doing the, all right, I got to turn the car on because I need some AC. Doing the decluttering, it'll stop beeping in a minute. I'm not going anywhere. Just relax, car. Doing, hit the like button. Thank you. Doing the decluttering and removing things has been very freeing. That I'm going to be honest, like where I felt like I can't keep doing this is becoming more of like, I think I can keep homeschooling. I feel so much freer and I don't feel as overwhelmed, if that makes sense. So I began the search. And I'm going to tell you a couple things I found, but I began the search of if money wasn't the reason, without letting money be a reason, what would be the things I'd want to pick for a homeschool curriculum? Knowing all the things I know now, 10 years in, knowing how I throw stupid money away, because let's just be honest, I'm a stupid spender and I'm getting better. I'm a stupid spender, but I'm getting better. What would I do? So my first instinct would be, good morning. My first instinct, I'm picking out like what would be our best curriculum for me that benefits me, but also benefits my kids. But first it's about me, and then it's about, will it work for my kids? Not, will it work for my kids? Can I do it? I can't. We got it. Mom is in survival mode. Oxygen mask on first. The first thing is on me would be like a box curriculum. Order the whole dang box, put a DVD in there, send it over. We got this. But I've done that. I've done that so many times. It never works. It doesn't happen. It never happens. It never works out. I looked at going back to, I know I'm going to get to that. It never works out doing a box curriculum because it's just too much of the same stuff. In fact, I talked to my children about it. I'm like, okay, if we sort of crashed and burned, I feel the, hold on. Cancel. What'd you say? I feel like that year didn't go well. Yeah, that was a crash and burn. Doing BJU, I was so excited here. We're going to do setup, and it went bad. It went so bad. So then I'm like, I talked to the kids, and here's what they tell me. You know, we have ADHD. I have ADHD. The kids have ADHD. Too much of the same is too much in our house. So they told me, they said, if you buy all of our curriculum from one box, parent-led, DVD-led, whatever, from one box, the entire day looks the same. Well, of course it looks the same. If it's BJU, all the pictures, all the textbook, all the books feel the same. All the pictures look the same. There's nothing visual or textural that changes. It's all the same delivery method. And it kind of made sense to me, like, oh, it's so easy to hit. I need grade 7, bing. I need grade 8, bing. 7, bing. 2 and 1, order it, show up. The thinking's off me. But I will pay the price the rest of the year. Like, within months. Because they'll go about 2 months and they're done. And then I'm like trying to every which way to change it up. So, with that, I went, So that's like number one criteria. We cannot order a single box curriculum. I like CC, but I don't want to do the drive to the nearest community that would have room for me. I already looked into it, which has helped. Let's see. I prefer variety. We're very eclectic. We started with just the back end, started branching out more and more. Yeah, so I looked at CC. I like CC for so many things, but then it comes into the price tag is so much money, which by how I'm not spending, we could totally make it happen. more so than doing the private school. You know, definitely way cheaper than the private school. But I like to think that we are classical unschoolers. I use my grandparents' books as a scaffolding and then tailor to my children's needs as needed. Well, and that's what I kind of run into too. And I had to go back to my first love. Like, my first love when I wanted to homeschool was very hands-on. We use public domain curriculum. This helps. It's mostly classics like Robinson curriculum. And I love Robinson curriculum. You know, I wanted more hands-on. I was never a classical style anticipator, but I've learned to love it and encompass it. Decluttering and minimizing your home makes big box curriculums with all the clutter and stuff make it seem like going backwards. Oh, okay. So, all right. So the criterias are, the first criteria is no box, no big box curriculum. It has to be subjects from different places. So it has a textural approach, visual. It's all changing with each subject. Number two, mine is, mine is, number two, it cannot come with a lot of stuff. So my pre-decluttering person, you know, up until a few months ago, was I wanted whatever came with the most pieces. I loved the pieces. But it's just like the hobby. I love to buy for the hobby, not to the hobby. I loved unboxing the curriculum with all the pieces. Don't so much then love the pieces. It becomes very overwhelming to me and I can't figure out how to handle it. So that makes sense, right? Like, I want things without a lot of pieces. Okay. My daughters then also said they want things, my oldest two, they want things that don't include me. What? You want to homeschool without your mama? Essentially, they want to homeschool without their mama, because what they have found is I cannot stay on task. That's so sad. Loving to buy for the hobby, but doing the hobby. Yes, I know. I found something new. I haven't completely, rabbit trails, no rabbit trails. So they don't want to depend on me. Highly recommend Dive Science, great curriculum, video led, hands off for mom. Yeah, so they don't want anything that is requiring me. They want to be able to predict, open their books and go. I really thought master books was it, but it got to be, it was too Charlotte Mason. Oh, the Ambleside Online would be great for your older kids. It's designed to be independent, grade 4. But it has to be predictable. That's the other part too. They want predictable. Because I'm like, Robinson curriculum would be awesome. They don't like read a book. Those two don't like that. They actually like textbooks. And they don't even like textbooks. They would like work textbooks. And then the idea of getting everything via DVD in front of a screen, they hate that. That's how good your kids want to be independent. Definitely go and check out Ambleside Online. My kids too. Well, and I've tried to implement Ambleside, but it was too many pieces for me. It overwhelmed me as a mom when they have the charts and they have all the books. And it should be easy, but in my mind, it just overwhelmed me on Ambleside. So I'm looking in and I'm literally just tackling one subject at a time. So when I talk to them about history, they want a classical textbook curriculum. They don't want to do Story of the World where I read them a book and we do projects. They don't want it. She's like, they literally are like, I want to read something, answer questions, take a quiz and take a test and be done. I don't want projects. I just want to read and have good pictures. And I'm like, do you want a video? They're like, no, I don't want a video. I go, well, I could piece something together, which I don't really have time to do. So why would I want to offer that one? I could piece a curriculum together. Like, I could take the major themes and I could use Crash Course and the great courses and you listen. And how about AC and Life Pack? We've already done it. It ain't gonna work. I don't know if any of you have run into this. Life Pack, I felt like Life Pack, I feel like they give you good stuff, but then their questions are like, well, you have to read into it. Like, you have to know way more stuff. Read between the lines to answer it. Where AC is the complete opposite. It's literally go find that subject, write it down. We've done that route. It doesn't enthuse them. So I'm thinking of a Becca or BJU just for history. A nice little textbook. I have to say, I did get Henley Latin after I watched your post on it, and my kids love it. Great. We watch Liberty Kids on YouTube for history. Right. So, but we're now kind of in high school. They want that sense of, you know what it really comes down to? They want to count how many lessons they have until they're done and work, and so they can be like done. I mean, my fifth grader is going to be the first child in my house to do an entire Saxon textbook. She's down to 30 lessons. She's counting them down. We didn't start it till January. She wants to count it down. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. They want that countdown. They don't want to immerse in it. Like, I might be like, oh, let's watch a video on that. I might add that stuff, but as of right now, they don't want it. So I'm respecting that for them. And I looked at a Becca and I looked at BJU. And I'm going to say, when I looked at a Becca, the price point was so much, it's like $50 higher, where it was like $200 for all the pieces, which I think you can get away with not getting all the pieces or buying it used. But I'm going to be honest, as I'm decluttering and not spending money, Heart of Dakota is pretty independent in upper grades. As I'm decluttering and spending less, does the Good and the Beautiful have history? Yes, but it's group. It's not on their own. I'm going to buy whatever I'm going to buy brand new. Now, that probably sounds such an oxymoron for spending less, decluttering. I'm just going to buy it brand new. So whatever I'm getting, I'm buying brand new. Because, one, I'm not spending stupid money. I'm spending smart now. And although I can buy it used, I don't want to deal with something that isn't right. A good channel for history, commentary, and teaching is Constitution Vet. He just started and it's awesome. Ooh, we'll have to check that one out. I should be taking notes. I'm going to have to come back and take notes on all the things you add in here because you guys are awesome. But I'll buy it brand new. So BJU, price point lower, less stuff. Rebecca, price point higher, more stuff. I think either one is interchangeable. Your son's in second grade. Awesome. But that's for my two oldest. I'm only going to talk about my two oldest. Well, my youngest ones aren't in that situation. So, like, for doing a history, I'm just going to stick with the CC timeline. I have all that stuff. Buy the CC cycle 1. I think we're going to do cycle 1 just because I have all the stuff. Coloring pages and stuff off Etsy by Amy something designs, Amy Snyder designs, something like that. I don't remember for sure, so y'all fix me on that one. And Story of the World. Read Story of the World, do some activities. That's it. You know what I hate about Story of the World? Just my tangent. Is the activity book. And you know what I hate about the activity book? Is you have to tear it up and then you got like a wedge missing this much out of the back of the book. I hate that. But I actually gave the activity book away. I had it bound and it was just so overwhelming. $25, and I thought I had a good deal by buying it for $10. Because it was in a binder and stuff, but I hate the binders. It's too overwhelming. But what I found out is I could just get the activity book, don't tear a single page out, and then go on to Story of the World, A Well-Trained Mind, and buy the student pages PDF. So I'm just like, okay, for their history, I already have, I bought Mystery of History for me to read. I thought about doing Mystery of History for my older girls. I thought that would be a good leeway. They just want a textbook. They don't want to share a textbook. So I'm just like, whatever. Because I'm like, I could buy both books, $50 each. It's still cheaper than doing a backup. But I got to go with what works for them. And that's what seems to be their interest. But on Story of the World, for doing my younger two's history, I have everything, but I should reorder the activity book, and I'm going to get the PDF and call it a day and do whatever I feel like doing. Because I even have the audios for Story of the World. So we may very well, what might be our real genuine history with my younger two is doing the CC timeline, doing the CC memory work, Total Language Plus for Language Arts. I've seen that one. Is doing the timeline, and when we're going somewhere for speech therapy, probably listening to the book on tape and have them tell me about it. Couldn't your oldest take a college course for history? My oldest is done actually with her history classes at the college. It's my number 3 child who's 13, so she's not old enough to take the college classes, nor do I think she's really ready for that. All right, so the next one is so that's what I'm looking at: history, science. I talked to him about science. You know, I was gonna go with neuroscience because that stuff looks cool. They don't want a Charlotte Mason style. That's just it. It is so easy to get caught up in that classical Charlotte Mason, mix them together. I want to go in sunlight. I want to go in this direction. Knot grass is good, but there's so much extras you get bogged down. Yep, I don't want to get bogged down. So I'm looking, and I'm just like, I'm trying to like get my girls, and they keep coming home. I want to write in my book, and they don't want Charlotte Mason. Oh my goodness, are we not just going against the grain here? 10 years in, my girls know what they want. They've seen me. They've seen the older kids endure. They see where the older kids are at now. And they don't mind telling me what they want and don't want. They don't want Charlotte Mason. They really are not wanting a classical style either. I'm going to make them listen to the timeline, you know. How do they get out of it? I'm going to play it in the house. They're going to hear it anyway. But they don't want a classical, and they want a textbook. And I was looking again at BJU, and I was looking at Becca, but then again, I'm delivering more of the same. I looked at Streams of History, and they're really calling out more of a 9th grade. And here's the thing too, is the two of them, 6th grade and 8th grade, they don't want to do the same thing. They want to do like independent of each other, but similar to each other. So I'm looking at Apologia. I'm actually looking at Apologia for my 6th grader to do like the general science, but take it over 2 years. I struggle with history curriculum. I haven't found any I like so far. I don't know what I like. Submersion, your own interest led, but they don't have the same interest I have. And you know, interest led doesn't mean like, hey, take your interest to do American history. They're like, I've learned my Pledge of Allegiance. I'm good, because that's the only interest they have. So I love interest led. I've learned so much being interest led, but it doesn't always work out. There was a great science textbook. Yes, I think it was Apologia, but not quite. Well, I'm thinking with the Apologia is we just had a standardized test last month. I'm waiting on the scores and to aid adjusting challenge. Well, so what I'm thinking I like about Apologia is, and I'm almost debating on putting them in a class for science, but I haven't decided that yet, or a self-paced. I think my 6th grader, I'm going to give her 2 years to get the general science done, but knowing her, she'll probably just finish it. It is a 7th grade book, and she's 6th grade. Also, what is it? I'm hoping this big truck doesn't run me over. It's a small parking lot. Good morning. So, doing Apologia because I like the idea of them having to take notes in the notebook. So they have the textbook, they have the notebook, they take notes. That doesn't sound bad. And I would spend the money on paying for a lab kit. I think the lab kit's $80, $79, $80. I just buy the lab kit. Because again, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. For my littles doing science, I don't know. So you can use, Apologia with dive science. Nice. The general science has Sherry in there, and she has it has like a little thumb drive. You can do it. The other part too I liked about what was that? I put together a DIY history curriculum. I'm calling it biography survey of early history we will be reading. That's what I kind of wanted to do. Friends use IEW for writing and bonuses history. Science in the beginning. They don't want video curriculums, so dive isn't for them. Yeah, they don't want a lot of video curriculums at all. They want very minimal. And I found a couple that I'm like, oh, but we'll use, I really want to hold that video curriculum for like really special things, right? If that makes sense, really special things. So for on the science part though, what I did find out in my researching is the Apologia. You can get the textbook on Audible. So I like that idea that they could listen to the textbook as they do it, and maybe that would be another delivery method, because remember, we can't do the same thing every time. Hit that like button. Thanks, you guys. So I'm looking at that for my younger kids, doing CC, ordering the notebooking packets from Etsy that go with the cycle, adding, oh, I think I brought it. Oh, I'm sitting here trying to do it off memory and I just remembered I brought it. Yeah, but then, adding in the thing. I'm making my 9th, 7th, and share textbooks to save money. All right, so adding this in and using these, just like we're just to do CC at home, that would totally work for my younger kids. And I'm going to say, because I was debating on actually doing my younger kids with My Father's World's Adventures in U.S. History. I was contemplating that, because then it would be Bible, science, history, geography, arts, and music. It's like $300, an extra $35 for a set of student sheets, so it'd come to $335. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't want the extra stuff. I was like, oh, I don't want the extra stuff. So I was just like, maybe not. All right. So yeah, so really just pulling out the CC memory work. Yeah, see, like I use pink because that's what I do. All right. So that'd be science and history. Math is just a hot mess. My oldest, she's, like I said, she'll be doing FLVS Algebra 1. So we already have what we need to move on. My oldest homeschooled, so I'm going to really confuse you guys, because now I'm only talking about the bottom 4. My 6th grader, she just finished Saxon, so I'm going to put her in the next Saxon book. She's figured it out. She likes Saxon. Hurrah! I will get Nicole the math lady as a tutor. I don't know if any of y'all dealt with Nicole the math lady. She does Saxon tutorials for $80 a year. You can actually have access to every one of her books. She does a great job explaining it, so why not, right? Orville would be 2nd, 3rd grade kind of area, and Leona would be 1st grade. I looked at Modern Curriculum Press last year. I actually had them do the Modern Curriculum Press at night, kind of as a review, and they flew through it. Sodbusters, her and I spent some time talking, and she said that when she was homeschooled, they were raised on Modern Curriculum Press math and then went into Saxon just fine. So it worked for her. It's going to work for us. My daughter and the girl I tutored both like Nicole the math lady. She's phenomenal. I'm like, she's done all the work. I'm happy to pay her for that work. So keeping the math is going to be pretty simple. Some are, one is doing the Florida Virtual School, one is doing Saxon, 2 are using Modern Curriculum Press to get into Saxon. So not a big deal. And I feel like with my one son, his reading's so close that once his reading clicks, he'll be in Saxon 5-4. Good morning from Citrus County. You were so close, Mayflower. It's so cool. All right. I looked at reading. I had a hard time with this one. I just want simple, to the point, a reading curriculum, and we're using Christian Light Education. It's set up to actually be done every other day. we're just going to stick with that. So everybody will stay on Christian Light Education, I think, unless I find something amazing. But, you know, because I was sitting there going through like, all right, we need to read. Because I almost went into like BJU for grammar, and then I realized reading is separate. That's pricey. I didn't even want to go into that. And again, you know, I haven't ordered this stuff yet, so time can change. Tell me what you think, because I'm trying to keep stuff in. All right, so I went on the big hunt for grammar. We really had a big conversation. So right now, our grammar consists of spelling, easy grammar, and phonics. Yeah, spelling workout. This is what we've done this year. Spelling workout, easy grammar, and phonics. We did a little fix-it grammar for a while, and then it requires me, so we couldn't get through. Throwing a wrench here, but what about high school ancient history book for your older girls? Yeah, I have that. They don't want that. It's not gonna. It doesn't have that set of. It's overwhelming, and I'm gonna be honest. I feel like that is more like a college level than a high school level. Rod and staff. Yeah, I was contemplating that, but I was contemplating all things. Listen, I was contemplating all things, because I almost was going to go back to Christian Light Education, because you got handwriting in there, you have spelling in there, you have grammar. But I'm going to be honest, the grammar gets so complex so fast. It's above and beyond anything you actually really will use, unless you're an English major, which even then I don't know. It's above and beyond me. In fact, by the time my daughter got through like 3 books in 9th grade, I'm like, no, we don't need to go on further. If this is your interest, have at it. But this is above and beyond. Which she does become like a grammar control dictator in class, because she doesn't understand why they don't understand basics like parts of speech, you know. And I just laughed. And she did one time go and give her teacher, have you looked at into the good and the beautiful, affordable and all-inclusive? We did good and the beautiful, and I was like, that's where I was kind of going. I'm like, we'll do good and the beautiful and add a spelling, and skip their spelling methods, but add a spelling in. And my girls informed me that when we did good and the beautiful, the reason they avoided me was because they didn't want to do good and the beautiful. And my favorite part is like the art studies. I'm like, oh, the art studies are awesome. Well, maybe not. They didn't want to do it. So I'm just like, dang it. And so I'm really contemplating. I'm like, what do we really, really need? We really need writing. And of course, I'm like, I love IEW. IEW's done you so well. And they're just like, nah, they don't want to do IEW. And I'm like, so I'm like, but I think we should do IEW. Let me just go look around. And what do I find? IEW, Andrew Pudwa is doing like forever streaming of a class where he teaches IEW writing, structures and styles of writing, and he does fix-it grammar on a 24-week cycle for an hour a week. Does that not sound like classical conversations? Oh my goodness. And I'm like, that right there. It's like, if you did the whole part, if getting like the teacher book and everything, who is that? Andrew Pudwa, IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing. It's like $240, but I don't need the structures and styles book. So I could get the student book, the student structures and styles, the student fix-it grammar with the teacher manual, with the video manual, like the lesson manual that tells you what next and whatever, and probably what to check, and the word wall. I can get all that for $170. And you forever get to watch these videos, so you can keep them for each kid. I'm not guaranteeing, I'm not buying anything going, this will work forever, because it never worked forever for me. Every year is different. But when I picked that up, I love homeschooling. Thank you for helping. Okay. Somebody with a wrench, keep an eye on that. So what I looked at it is, if I bought that and I had my 8th grader do it, which it might be a little bit easy for my 8th grade because she's done it before and this is year 1. My 6th grader, all I'd have to do is buy the student book and fix it grammar, which is $45. That's not bad at all. Thank you. Green Gables is always on it. That would work out just fine. So I really, really like that idea. I went and looked at it. My daughter, my oldest daughter, sat and watched. She's like, oh, I just learned something watching this. And he's so funny. It's an hour. It's once a week. It's without me. It actually, and I watched a few things, it actually tells them where to put the paper in the binder. So it's just like having a teacher. I just have to check through it. It tells them what to do. Love it. So I think that's something definitely. My 9th grader going into 10th grade, he's still, you know, bless his heart, we have worked so hard to get him to where he is now, but he still needs to improve on his writing and his grammar. And I'm a bit like, I think I'm going to order this now and have him do IEW. He never did a full year of IEW. Have him do IEW and fix it grammar over the summer, maybe instead of once a week, twice a week. So we'll double up. And that would give us 12 weeks. I don't know if that's enough time or not, but whatever we got done, he's so much further than he was at the beginning. So I'm actually thinking about ordering that right away. I'll get to do an unboxing and getting him started on it. Then I can really get a feel if this is what I want to do for the year, but I think so. With doing that, I still like the daily grams on Easy Grammar. It takes about 10 minutes for them to do. It's just a review. And then still keeping the spelling workout. The spelling workout book is just easy. I don't quiz them on it. They just do 1 page a day and they just blast through the book. I don't do the traditional spelling test. So that's what I'm looking at. When I looked at for my younger 2, I still think the best bet is keeping them in CLE until they can get into IEW and do level A, which won't be very long. But I'm making sure we're getting things covered. So I looked at that. I told you about math, reading, Spanish. My oldest homeschooler, I might have to do that now. I'm looking at, she'll finish FLVS. Oh, awesome, from the UK. She'll be doing the Florida virtual school, finishing that up, and hopefully taking the class at the high school. I'm gonna probably have to make the principal a few more kids